When the killer wasn't paying attention, the man secretly grabbed a shovel. Then, with all his strength, he struck the guard on the head. Taking advantage of the chaos, Annie seized the moment and ran toward the back to escape. But the killer quickly realized what had happened. As he closed in fast behind her, Annie found herself at the edge of a steep cliff. There was nowhere left to run. Desperate to escape, Annie stepped decisively onto a narrow wooden bridge. The killer lifted his machine gun and fired in her direction. The sudden burst of bullets terrified Annie so much that she lost her balance and slammed into a tree. The river below was raging and violent. Annie tried to grab onto the rocks at the side, but her hands were tied, making it impossible to hold on. The current grew stronger and faster, and ahead of her was a massive waterfall. If she couldn't stop herself in time, she would be swept to her death. Just as she was about to plunge over the edge, she managed to grab onto a piece of wrecked airplane debris. Now, she was only about 5 meters away from the waterfall. But the powerful current was relentless, and it soon pulled Annie away again. As she was about to fall into the abyss, she managed to cling to the airplane's left wing. Below her was a sheer drop, and falling meant certain death. Annie glanced down, realizing she had no one to rely on but herself. Taking a deep breath to steady her nerves, she lifted her right leg with all her strength. After pulling herself up, Annie collapsed onto the wing, exhausted. But before she could catch her breath, the wing began to creak and crack. The metal was giving way beneath her. Annie quickly adjusted her balance and slowly stood up. Seizing the right moment, she sprinted toward the shore. Just as she leapt over the broken cliff edge, the airplane wreckage completely detached and vanished into the waterfall below. Fortunately, Annie managed to grab onto the fuselage and saved herself. She quickly crawled into the airplane, her body trembling from exhaustion after the intense struggle. After catching her breath, she noticed a sharp piece of metal sticking out nearby. Without hesitation, she pressed the rope, binding her wrists against it, and began to rub frantically. But without the support of the wing, the plane began to tilt under the force of the rushing water. Annie rubbed faster, desperate to free herself. At the last moment, she managed to grab onto a steel plate in front of her. But the danger wasn't over yet. After breaking apart, the plane got wedged between the cliffs. Annie's position was precarious. Even the slightest movement could cause the wreck to crumble further. Driven by a powerful instinct to survive, Annie soon discovered yet another way to save herself.